We have head coach Tracy Smith with us. If you have any questions, please use the raise hand function or ask in the chat. Start off with Jacob.
Tracy, but the way this game was going, just kind of the back and forth nature of it, towards the later innings when you guys don't get calls the way you thought that they should go behind home plate, how frustrating is that for you?
I mean, I thought for the most part he was pretty good behind the plate, and everybody's human, and he's got a much better look at it. Although from the side, I got a pretty good look up and down, but that wasn't honestly that wasn't the difference in the game for us. It was. We made some mistakes, and when you're in a tight ball game and playing a good club, you can't make the mistakes, and that's where, we talked with the kids about it, that we can't walk lead off. I think we did it in the 7th and 8th, I believe, and they ultimately ended up scoring, and that becomes the difference of the game. So it wasn't so much, I don't think the calls, it was more of, we controlled whether we won or lost that game, and today we didn't do that.
Jack.
Hey, Coach. Twice now in the last week, Kai has made a couple ill-advised dives in the outfield and let the ball get by him for a triple. Is that something you're concerned about? Are you guys going to have a chat with him about making better decisions on when to leave his feet?
I think you know the answer to that question before you ask it. Of course, we're going to talk about that. He's good. He's a good player. He's aggressive. Honest, two not good decisions, but it's a young player trying to make a play for his team. But absolutely, we're going to talk about that, and hopefully he understands when and when not to dive in the future. But good baseball player, bad decision.
Jacob.
You mentioned some of the mistakes, and also recently we've talked about how you guys feel like you need to be a little more consistent with at-bats late in games, even when you guys are winning. Did you feel like there was, again, kind of a lapse with I don't know if it's competitiveness or just with the ability to score in the last 2 innings of the game?
No, this is baseball. You don't score every inning. We had 14 hits today, scored 9 runs. So I wouldn't say offensively that was the issue. I thought we competed all day at the plate. I'm not going to rehash what I just said, but I think the mistakes are the difference in this game. Certainly we're not on the offensive side. It was more on, we just walk and lead off in a close baseball game, late innings. That's more of a factor than the offensive piece. I still thought we were competing, and at the plate, I still thought guys were throwing together good at bats, and just sometimes they're going to make plays. Sometimes it's not going to fall in, but I don't have a problem with guys competing at the plate at all today.
Alexander.
Hey, Coach. It seemed like collectively your pitchers didn't really have their best stuff today, and you mentioned sort of leadoff walks and different mistakes there. What else could you say? Was there anything specific you noticed from multiple guys today, maybe looking forward too much or anything like that?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. We were not sharp. We were not sharp on the mound. And that's going to happen sometimes. We've been really good up to this point, and sometimes that's going to happen. And so we just got to regroup, put that behind us, and prepare and get ready for the weekend. That's what we have to do. But this is the form. This is how we're going to have to do it. So we're not going to sit and try to overanalyze this thing. It's guys that have been performing well. And I wouldn't say they were horrible today or they were bad. It's just we made a couple mistakes in a tight game and ended up catching us today. So, but I think everybody was in it and everybody was trying and everybody was competing.
Joseph.
Coach, can you talk about playing against Miles Denson? He came back and had a home run today. What was that like for the team and, to see him game plan against him?
Yeah, well, Miles is a great kid, and, everybody's, I would assume, well aware that Miles has spent 4 years in this program, and anytime you have somebody that's a part of your program like that, you don't want to root for him the day that you're playing him, but he's a great human being. He's a wonderful human being and a good ball player. So, good for him to come back in the yard and hit one out. But, we've seen that in our uniform too. So we weren't surprised, but, happy for him that he's finding success at UNLV. And, and that he's playing a lot because that's what he wanted to do. So, great kid and happy for him, honestly.
Jeff?
You go into conference now, and the conference looks pretty good at the top, half or so, maybe even more than that. What do you think about what you've seen so far? And then do you have any updated information on Tolman at this point?
Yeah. So what we've seen so far, are you talking from the league or more from us?
Yeah, just what you've seen from the conference teams going into the start of Pac-12.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we know we've got a challenge ahead. I mean, and we're probably going to be the youngest group that's thrown out there because everybody got, retained their guys, and we lost a lot. So we know that going in, and I'm not. That's not an excuse. It supplements the fact that we've got to do everything right. Like we've got to. We're probably not going to be as physical as some of the teams that we play in the league. So we got to do everything right, make them earn every base, do all those things because this league is a good league. The good part of our preseason, I think, as it relates to transitioning into conferences, we've faced some pretty good pitching on the Friday night opponents we played up to this point. So it's a pretty good indicator for us. But we're going to have to pitch and throw strikes and play good defense and get the timely hit. And if we do that, we're going to be in a position to win a lot of baseball games. So I'm excited about our chances to do that. I'm looking forward to this group going on the road, and that's just one more step of growing and maturing. And what was the second part of your question?
Well, you said a few days ago you might have an update on Tolman.
Yeah. So he's going to have the same thing. We've been hit with some not so good luck. Eric's going to unfortunately had another opinion, another MRI, and he's going to have season-ending surgery as well.
Jacob?
Just to clarify, that's Tommy John surgery for
Yes.
Tolman? Okay.
Yeah.
When did you guys find out about that? And then if you could just speak to the impact of losing 3 huge arms for the entire season.
Well, we were a little bit of a roller coaster with it because initially we thought that's what it was, and then it wasn't. And then I'm not a medical expert, but they did a different type of MRI that revealed, kind of the same thing with I'm trying to think which one was, but it's very similar to one of the other guys that just it's wear and tear, and it's just bad timing, And when I say that, it's bad timing for the team, it's bad timing for the kids that are getting it because they put in, we all sat around and did nothing. All spring and summer, if you could have the luxury of looking into a crystal ball, because this was going to happen at some point anyway, you wish that it could have happened last year. So not playing the woulda, shoulda, coulda game, we just deal with. When you ask what the impact is, there's nothing we can do to change the situation that we're in, but we've got to find a way, and this is what I'm proud of this group, and we're going to find a way. We've got to find a way to cover probably 200 to 280 to 300 innings. That's what we have to do, and we feel like we've got the pieces here to be able to do that. It may not be as conventional as running 3 of the top. I think some of the top pitchers in the league, which we just lost. It's not as conventional as running those guys out, but I still think the pieces are here. But our margin of error, as I've indicated already in this Zoom call, is it just reduces that margin of error. So that's why we have to be extra good in those other things, making good decisions, and competing in the strike zone. That's it.
Jack?
You touched on it briefly there. You're saying you're a little excited to get on the road. It's obviously nice to be home, but are you looking forward to seeing what this group brings in its first road games of the year?
Absolutely. I mean, if we've had the comfort of playing at our own place, the routine, it's nice to get out of. I mean, we've had a lot thrown at us. We've had COVID. Everybody's had COVID. We've been bitten with the injury bug, unfortunately, early. But this is just one more thing that adds growth and gives us a little bit more of an insight, gives us more insight as to who we've got. And I can tell you, though, I feel really confident getting on that plane and going up to Oregon and, and laying it out there and playing our best baseball. And we'll see what happens. We will compete. I will tell you that.
Last question, Alexander.
Hey, Coach, a couple more things. First off, do you expect JK to travel with you guys to Oregon? And then second of all, has there been anybody other relievers you've seen over the last couple of weeks who may have stood out as somebody who can maybe extend innings, I suppose?
Yeah, I don't have a definitive answer on JK. I think Joe Hauser is going to be a guy that is going to continue to develop and increase the role. Brady Corrigan's been fantastic for us up to this point. But it's going to be, it's going to be guys continuing to grow and get more confidence, and then, showing us more what they've got in a game setting so that we know how to use them. But I would say those two guys stand out in my mind as guys that I could see increasing their roles.
Thanks for your time, Coach.